They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And when you take a trip through the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone National Parks, hopefully you'll be holding your camera because there's something incredible to see around every curve.
And because the last thing we want to do is spend valuable time charging our SUV, we are taking the Hyundai Kona Electric. With its 258-mile range and no emissions, it's the better way to go, see, and do more, all on a single charge. So let's get this show on the road and join us for another epic drive on this episode of Hyundai Highways.
We'll start in Grand Tetons National Park, heading north on Highway 191, then continue on the 191 as it crosses into Yellowstone. We are here in Grand Tetons National Park, and Yellowstone National Park, by the way, is just like right over there, and we're gonna go to both. So it's gonna be such a beautiful day.
Hey!
Hello! How are you?
I am well.
Thanks for being part of our road trip. I'm excited
You
to
bet.
be here.
Welcome to Grand Teton National Park.
Thank you. All right, so this is the visitor center.
This is the main visitor center.
Maybe the visitor center with the best view ever.
It's just one of those iconic views of the American West.
Yeah.
So this is our Junior Ranger program, which we have at national parks across the country. And once you meet the criteria, you get to be a Junior Ranger.
So I'll give this back to you. You're eyeing it. I know.
Because you've got to earn this badge. So why don't we go see what we can do and we'll earn you a badge, a Junior Ranger badge,
I'm
okay?
gonna start studying.
All right.
For our first stop, we'll visit the first permanent community in the Tetons built by early settlers. One thing I can tell you they didn't have to settle for was this amazing scenery.
Okay, Denise, tell me what we are looking at.
So this is one of the original homesteads here in the area. This is Mormon Row, a community of Mormons homesteaded in this area, and several of the structures are still here.
Whoever was in this barn had just the best view ever.
I think anybody living along this row had the best view ever, that's right.
Yeah.
Part of this land was acquired by the government to be preserved in a national park. So it's here for future generations, and that's part of the National Park Service.
Should we continue our adventures?
Let's go.
No, this is lovely. Thank you so much, Homestead.
So we're on our way to Schwabacher Landing, one of the most beautiful places on the planet with one of the most unpleasant sounding names.
So this is it.
This is all I've got to offer for today. That's right. This is it.
This is incredible. I feel like I'm like trying to take photos and it doesn't capture, like every photo I'm like, no, photo capture this. This is so beautiful.
It's spectacular. And if you look at the water and see the reflection of the peaks off the water, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think the key message for anybody that's coming to a national park is to always be prepared. Do a little bit of planning. Plan up front, be prepared. Here it's hiking, it's camping, it's climbing. You know, many people climb those peaks.
Right, and it's like what we were saying, most animals 25 yards, bears, wolves, 100 yards.
Yes,
like,
good job.
Right, look at
You're doing
Junior
good.
Ranger, I'm getting ready.
You might get a badge after all.
I am training, Denise, I am in it to win it. And you were saying like, so what's unique about the mountains is as we travel there, the mountain, it's like a fun shape, so every time we travel, it's gonna look different.
Every viewpoint looks a little bit different, and each one is spectacular, but they're all just a little bit different. So I've got one more place to show you.
I can't wait.
All right, let's go.
We're now headed to Snake River Overlook, and I'm wondering if they call it that because of how it winds or because of how it's full of snakes. Let's find out.
This is the Snake River with this, like, just view. I didn't even have words. I literally was at a loss for words. This looks like if you have a postcard that says, the beautiful American West. So there's just like a legacy of coming here and like living off the land and being just like really resilient.
Oh, that legacy started with Native Americans.
Yeah.
It started with John Coulter and a lot of the mountain men and the fur traders.
I know some things are named after John Coulter. And he's like loosely affiliated with Lewis and Clark?
Yeah, so we do have Coulter Bay, which is named after John Coulter, who explored some of this area. And so many of the locations around here are named after Coulter, including Coulter Bay, which is one of our developed areas in the north end of the park.
was he with Lewis and Clark, and then he's like, they were like in a band, and he's like, I'm gonna go solo. And everyone was like, oh, what?
He did some solo exploration, yeah, in this particular area and into Idaho and Wyoming and parts of Montana.
Oh, cool. Is there anything else before we close? Anything that maybe I've been working towards?
So I think you may have earned this Junior Ranger badge.
Oh my goodness.
But you do have to pledge to protect national parks, including Grand Teton National Park. You
I need to say it. I, Esteban Gast, pledge to protect national parks, including Grand Teton.
Congratulations,
wow.
buddy. Here you go.
This is good. This is gonna go.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I feel the weight of it. Thank you so much for this honor. And thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy and there's a lot of things, and we appreciate so much you taking the time to walk us through this beautiful park and like share in these moments with us. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
From one junior park ranger to another. Thanks so much, Denise. I really appreciate it. So we just left Grand Tetons and we are on our way to Yellowstone National Park, and we're going to the big one. We're going to Old Faithful. We're meeting this guide named Evan there. He's gonna teach us a ton about the park, geysers, and all that good stuff. Hey, Evan.
Esteban.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to Yellowstone.
Thanks so much. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is
good
the
to meet you.
best. I'm wearing like 6 layers, and you look like you're like grilling hamburgers.
This
in
is
your backyard.
wonderful out here.
So I think Yellowstone. I think Old Faithful.
Of course.
This is the best place to be. This is like people are like, you're going to Yellowstone, you're going to see Old Faithful.
This is it. It's the icon of the park. You can't visit Yellowstone without seeing Old Faithful erupt at least once.
Okay, I know what a geyser is, but remind me also maybe to remind everyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's recognize first that we're standing on top of a massive volcano.
We're standing on a volcano.
Right in the middle of it.
That made this walk so much more exciting.
Yeah, now you know. Underneath us is a whole lot of magma, giant magma chamber.
Wow.
There's a lot of moisture on the surface. That moisture is making its way into the ground and being heated by that magma.
So hypothetically, what it wants to do, it wouldn't blow up if it is like tons of steam, but there's just that one little thing.
It's a pressure point, yeah. It's
And
coming out through a smaller hole, and that pressure's not being released quick enough.
And then every 60 to 90 minutes, it's like, I can't take it.
It's gonna go, and it's been doing that since Washburn watched it here in 1870.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard people used to like put, like early pioneers used to put clothes and things in there.
For sure, yeah. I think throughout the history of Old Faithful, since we've been visiting it, people have been dropping trinkets and coins and clothes, and we have had a couple instances just this year of folks walking right up to have a look, to take a peek down Old Faithful.
Do you get like banned for life? What happens?
I'm not sure.
Shame? Should we say their name?
I'm okay with
Jeremy from Idaho? We know what you did. Darcy blows! All right, Old Faithful Inn.
This is it.
It looks both beautiful and a little spooky.
It is some of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, the spookiness might come from its age. Built in 1904.
Wow.
Yeah, over 300 rooms. Definitely the most famous hotel here in Yellowstone. It's the largest log structure in the world.
You were saying it's closed for renovations.
Yeah, they're doing some work on it right now.
And then I'm seeing there's the people doing work on it. There's a guy, and he's sawing, like straight up sawing. And I want to go up to him and be like, have you considered a chainsaw? Like he just is like.
I'm sure that he has. So to preserve that historic culture, one of the things that they do is they work in a lot of the historical ways that the hotel was built. And that kind of maintains that feel, it maintains that romance of the place and keeps it authentic. They've done a lot of things like they've kept all the fixtures original. Even the doors, the famous double red doors of the Old Faithful Inn are the original doors from 1904, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's literally erupting now.
It's going off right now, yes. You could be in your room having a glass of wine, having a cocktail, having brunch delivered to your bed while watching Old Faithful erupt.
Avocado toast and watching Old Faithful.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Well, thanks for giving us some of the history.
Yeah.
And I want to get out. I want to get out into like the park, into the wild.
Yes.
So should we get going?
Let's do it.
We're on our way to the Grand Prismatic Spring, but this ain't like that old swimming hole kind of spring, because the water's up to 200 degrees, which is too bad for you, because I was gonna strut around in my swimsuit.
This is stunning.
It's the Midway Geyser Basin.
So on the way here, we were in the Kona and we saw some bison.
Yeah. One thing you probably don't know is that in 1902, we were down to just a couple dozen wild bison left. And we're so fortunate to still have them today.
This is prismatic.
The Grand Prismatic Spring.
The
yeah.
Grand
This
Prismatic.
In its entirety, we're at the Midway Geyser Basin.
Okay.
The center, the core, the highlight of the Midway Basin.
This is so beautiful. There's so
It's
many
amazing.
like brilliant colors.
Yeah.
And like over here, I'm seeing blues and greens and
Yeah.
reds and oranges.
Yeah.
I mean, big question is why are the colors?
Bacteria.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are bacterias. They're called extremophiles, thermophiles, lovers of heat.
Thermophiles.
Yeah, so it's a bacteria that grows in specific temperatures of hot water. This water right here is probably right around 100 degrees. The hotter out in the middle, probably close to the boiling point out in the middle of the pool. And as it flows away, it slowly cools, and each band of cooling water allows a different thermophile to grow. Gives us that beautiful rainbow that we see.
Evan, thank you so much. This was a ton of fun, and I feel like we learned a lot.
Yeah,
So I really
thank you for coming.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, come back again.
I will. This was the best. There's so much more to see. 2 million
It's
acres.
huge.
We're just getting started.
Come back soon.
Thank you. It's hard to improve on a drive through this kind of landscape, but getting 258 miles on a single charge in the Kona Electric and no emissions certainly does help. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Hyundai Highways, and if you like what you see, feel free to press that subscribe button for more videos like this. We'll see you next time.